What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to your favorite pond, the Coy Pond, episode 131. As you guys know, you can find us here on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, and don't ever forget to leave a question on SpeakPipe. Even though it's the off season, maybe you have got some dynasty questions, some fantasy football questions, maybe some off season questions even. Who knows? And you know what? We keep on chugging through the off season, little by little. And we're back in studio this week with my co-host K-Dog for another glorious off-season week. I don't know what week it is at this point. I'm losing my mind without foosball. Baseball's only doing so much for me. Basketball playoffs are moving along. Still got a little bit longer of those. And same with NHL, their playoffs are moving along. But boy, oh boy, I can't wait for football. And if you're listening to this on Thursday, the schedule release came out, but we do these Wednesday nights. So we'll give our reactions to that next week on the Coy Pond. Nevertheless, here we are for another glorious week.
Yeah, here we are. It's pretty exciting, Colin and I were just talking before we came on the air about, today for me, wearing a Cowboys jacket to a doctor's appointment and eyeglass fitting and whatever. But, everybody clearly is getting hungry for football.
Yeah.
It's been a long off season already.
It feels like the longest.
And outside of the schedule release, which will be tonight, essentially, that's about the excitement for now. And as my eye doctor, Dr. Jones, said, I mentioned that you said the only news that's coming out right now is not news teams want to have or fans want to have.
Nope.
Because it's either they've gotten hurt or, like Dr. Jones said, they got in trouble.
Yes.
So,
oh, my God.
Neither one's good.
You see it all. And on the bright side, for the Chargers, signed David Njoku.
Yeah.
That was exciting.
They did sign him.
They did sign him.
Really?
For, I think, a 1 year deal. But I am pumped about that.
I showed you had a picture with him, right?
Yeah. We
met him in Cleveland one time at a rooftop bar.
Yep, we met him up there. And yeah, I'm pumped the Chargers got him. That's going to be awesome for Justin Herbert to be able to throw to him, of all people.
Wow.
They've got the wide receivers, obviously, that they've got, which have improved over the last few years. But Justin Herbert always loves throwing to tight ends.
Yeah.
So having Njoku is going to be a blast. I know some people were already throwing hands up about the Chargers paying so much just for tight ends alone, but he throws to tight ends very often in the NFL, and that could be due to the wide receiver lacking typically with the Chargers, but I'm pumped. Should be awesome. Nevertheless, I alluded to it last week. Was there anything else you wanted to add on to the fan that you met out in the wild?
Yes, it was pretty exciting here at a local Chinese restaurant. Picking up carry-out, standing there waiting on it. And it was only because I ordered
an extra
in the last
spring
minute two spring rolls and had to wait. This guy came in and we were talking. He said, I thought they'd have the basketball playoffs on or something. And then he kind of paused and he looked and he goes, "Are you the Coy Pond?" And I was just like, "Excuse me?" And
That's
he goes,
crazy.
"You and your son, you do the Coy Pond. You're the Cowboys guy, right?" And I was like, "How do you know that?" He's like, "Because I listen to it now and again."
Oh, my God.
And I was like, "Seriously?" He's like, "Oh, yeah." So, well, what's your team? He goes, "Oh, Browns."
Yeah.
And
a team we famously have been up and down on.
That's right.
I think respectfully, but in some moments, maybe not so much.
That's right.
I did clown, I think, Shedeur Sanders in the Browns last year or 2 years ago. That's not here nor there.
But apparently he's entertained by it because he didn't threaten to steal my egg rolls or anything like that. But so yeah, it was pretty cool. And then as we were leaving, I saw him get in a car and he had a Browns plate or whatever, which was cool.
Yeah.
And that no Coy Pond hat, no Coy Pond shirt, no Cowboys shirt, nothing related to pro football, and the guy still, spotted me.
That's crazy.
So that was kind of that was pretty wild.
That's
I have to admit.
He felt like the man, people. He felt like the man.
Had to text Colin pretty quickly after that happened and say, "Dude, you won't believe this shit."
Yeah, I was blown away myself. But hey, we appreciate all of you for listening, watching, and following. Obviously, the off-season drought's a bit of a hard time for us. It always is tough to get everything rolling. But you know what? We got there. We're here. Other than the David Njoku, there hasn't been much news, if at all, around the NFL. Obviously, the schedule tonight's terrific timing for us.
Huge. We got a couple tidbits, right? I mean,
we got the Madrid game, Bengals and Falcons.
I'm not sure.
Bengals and someone else, whoever it is. I'll put up the little poster for it.
The one I've got on my brain is the Eagles at Dallas on Thanksgiving. And then the new tradition they're starting, the Thanksgiving Eve game. So there's a game Wednesday night now.
I like that.
I like that too. That's a great night to put a game.
And they're doing a Black Friday game again?
Probably.
I would assume. They're selling out all these evening games. But it's one I'm not the crowd that's supposed to hate it. I'm a big fan because guess what? I'm going to be drunk off turkey looking for something to watch.
Yes.
And what better than Thanksgiving night football?
Damn you, tryptophan.
But yeah, they had the 3, and then you're right, the night before they have the one now, which is, I think, fine.
The start of a new tradition is how they're marketing it.
That's fine. Typically, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving is the night to get hammered. So
yeah, I mean,
frankly, that's great.
It's actually finally putting football where people are ready to watch football.
Right.
As opposed to dragging our asses through a Sunday night or a Monday night crap.
Yeah, and if they don't have a Black Friday game this year, what might be a hot take, I think they should skip the first game on Thursday, on Thanksgiving, and put that Friday night. Because
that's true.
Honestly, I could deal with a 4 o'clock and an 8 o'clock game. The noon, 1 o'clock game that they have on Thanksgiving Day isn't a problem, but I do feel guilty because at least our family would always do Thanksgiving earlier in the day. So then it's like I'm trying to, someone's trying to talk to me and I'm looking over their shoulder. I don't care what you've done over the last year.
Yeah. And they added the late game. You know, the noon or the 12:30 and the 4 o'clock or whatever are the tradition. But I'm kind of with you. It's almost like, do we need 3 games on Thanksgiving? I don't know.
Hey, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
But, if they do have the Black Friday game, then I will quit my bitching because I'm okay with 3 games. One at each slate is a lovely little segue each time because you only have to pay attention to the one.
Yeah,
Much better than them doing those stupid double headers from last year.
Right.
Which I would assume we're going to get. I felt like they might have had a comment about the split viewership.
The Monday.
Yeah, it was the Monday nights.
Yeah, I think they did away with that.
Okay, thank God.
I think they got a lot of negative feedback on that.
Well, it was like two different networks, and then you're trying to switch between the two. It was a nightmare.
And no one's watching the non-main game anyway.
Right.
Usually there was one that's
really to some extent,
and the other one's kind of like, throw the bonus in there, but
it felt like you'd get
too much.
A Rams 49ers, and then you'd get a Carolina Panthers and like I don't even know. Saints, yeah, respectfully. I mean, and it felt like
sorry.
It's the truth. You had to pick 2 teams there. I almost went with a non-division, but I couldn't think of it off the top of my head. But nevertheless, to fill the void of this empty footballless summer that we have upon us, where nothing but bad news will curse your teams, we will be talking about and kind of reacting to the Wenzel Perspective Instagram account. They put out their predicting division winners and last place division.
Yeah.
I don't know, which division do you want to start with that maybe is the easiest to, you would say, the most you agree with?
The most I agree with probably would be the NFC West with the Rams.
Yep. So
I think certainly that means you're saying Seattle's not going to win it.
Right.
That's a big statement after winning the Super Bowl.
I would agree.
But again, the Rams we know were right there.
Have been right there.
And I would say outside of the questionable pick that Sean McVay did not like, that the Rams have probably reloaded and are ready to go.
And what I will say about that is, you think, oh yeah, Seahawks won it. They were dominating most of the games last year. And to that extent, Super Bowl hangover is a real thing. And to the same extent, while they didn't get absolutely picked apart, they definitely lost key pieces of that team that they'll have to refill. Yeah. And that may allow a game to slip early in the season if they played the Rams in one of those 2 games earlier rather than, both are towards the end of the season.
Yep.
And not to mention, I don't like picking repeat winners in division unless it's like the Chiefs and the run they have been on for a little bit now. And with the Rams just being there year after year, it feels like Stafford's maybe not towards the end. Well, he's towards the end of his career. Whether that's this year and it's over or 2 more years maybe. It feels like that team's always going to be in it.
Yeah. Yep.
Sean McVay is a dog.
He is.
And Stafford is too. Assuming Puka Nacua can stay mentally healthy and Devontae Adams can stay physically healthy, I don't see much of a problem there at all.
Yeah.
They were in it till the end last season too, and they had that whole controversy about the 2-point fumble that they ran back, or there was something crazy that happened in that playoff game because they were even in the playoff game towards the end.
Yeah.
Kind of came down to the flip of a coin.
How about you? Which one catches your eye?
So most surprising,
Yeah.
I would probably have to go with the
That's okay.
Giants winning the East.
Okay.
NFC East.
Yeah.
Only for the reason that you've got the Cowboys who got better as the season went on, the Commanders who weren't healthy and had a terrible defense, and the Eagles who have been kind of on this downward trajectory for the last season, but also after a lot of success. And when you kind of take that season off, who knows if the Eagles are going to be dominant again, but they definitely have plenty of pieces of that to stay a winning team. There's no doubt about that. And between all four of those teams, the Giants were the ones that picked up the most pieces, had the most success, but also usually the season after you have the most success like that, you have an offseason of some sort.
Yeah.
I think C.J. Stroud and the Texans kind of had that. Jaden Daniels and the Commanders kind of had that. And there's less to be surprised about with Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo.
Yeah.
Now you get Malik Neighbors back for the entire season. They were hurt there last season, so that's to be noted. But between the four of them, I'm not saying they're all world beaters, but they feel the playing field of the NFC East seems more level, and to the same extent, you could say that's why they might have picked the Giants in this situation.
Yeah, and I mean, I think John Harbaugh is definitely a great coach. The consistency with the Rams, even though he was frustrating to get over the hump.
The Ravens,
or the Ravens. I'm sorry, but thank you. But I think him coming in there first year, sometimes you get a new coach, you have the right mix of players, and they respond to the coaching because it's new. I could see them doing that, and I could see John Harbaugh having the Giants in great shape. They had 2 high first-round picks.
They did.
Averill Reese, and the other one was an offensive lineman, I believe.
Yeah, I can't remember who they got off the top of my head.
But it would be surprising not to see the Eagles.
Francis Mauigawi.
But I could totally see the Giants winning.
Yeah, and that one's up for grabs for sure. Who knows what happens there? For them, they have the NFC West, the Cardinals last place, and in the NFC East, they have the Commanders last place.
Yeah.
Again, same reason for the Commanders. I get it. I also would lean to agree with that, only because between the Eagles, Cowboys, and Commanders, if I had to pick the one that's going to probably come in last place this season, it'd be the Commanders. But also, Jaden Daniels is a dog when he's healthy. But after that first injury, I don't want to say they snowball, but it feels like you become a lot more prone, like any player.
Yeah.
But that's something to be noted. I guess Dak Prescott's had a similar issue with his ankle, I think, in the past.
Yeah.
But Cardinals, I mean, they are just in a rebuild.
The Cardinals are a rebuild. I mean, we've talked about, again, the one that surprises me on the list is the Packers being in the last place.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Packers have stuck it in there. I think I've said it before. I'll say it again. The Packers seem to always win games they shouldn't have any business being in, and they lose games like at the Browns last season where no one sees it coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a wild time. I mean, the NFC North, Bears, they have predicting coming in first.
Yep.
Packers in last. Lions and Vikings somewhere in between. The Vikings have a lot to figure out. They've got the coaching to figure it out, given they had Sam Darnold, and defense is always doing their thing. But now you have Kyler Murray, who's not been exactly fantastic. Who knows if he was just upset with the Cardinals as a whole,
right?
Or if there was Call of Duty being played in the background. And you also have J.J. McCarthy, who picked it up as the season went on, but to the same extent, how many of those teams were trying, who knows? I think he won at least a big game or two at the end. Mm-hmm. But again, throughout most of that season, there was not much to be desired with him. And there'll be a lot of questions to answer here very soon. It definitely helps that they added, they got Caleb Banks for the Vikings on the defense. So, the defense will stay dominant. No slight to Justin Jefferson or Aaron Jones. But the running back, they had a couple questions at running back. I think Aaron Jones got hurt last season. And I want to say it was like Ty Mullins or something they had as their backup. But
that's right.
He's definitely stepped up and rose to the challenge in those moments.
Yeah.
But they just didn't have it. Mm-mm. And between the Lions as well, injury plagued them. Offensive line looked a bit rough, obviously banged up. And we'll see if the Lions kind of had the same thing where they went on a 2-year run there, had an offseason, and they'll be right back to it here shortly. I would like to think so.
I would think so.
And the Bears having so much success last season, there was so many. I don't think Caleb Williams deserves the hate he gets totally, but there were so many of those games that he had terrible stats and just one great throw at the end to win the game.
Yeah.
That I don't think you can do that the same amount of times as you can this year.
Yeah.
Same way the Chiefs had those one-score games they went 10-0 on or 12-0 on 2 years ago, and then last year they were 0-12.
Right.
Law of averages say Caleb Williams misses those throws this upcoming year.
Yep.
I would personally probably favored Detroit.
Probably.
Packers should do it, but the Packers just, I don't know. The last few years, I felt like they should have and they couldn't. Whether that was wide receiver drops, injuries to their receiving core, or whatnot. But I'm probably leaning Lions this year. Don't get me on that. I didn't say it.
What about the AFC South?
AFC South. Okay. Texans going all the way. I mean, that was a team without Nico Collins last year for the pretty much entirety of that season. CJ Stroud had the worst offensive line he's had to play behind. And, Colts made some moves. They made some big, flashy moves. Jaguars should have been in it. They were in it. Then they couldn't win. I don't know what happened to them at the end. And Titans rebuilding.
New stadium.
New stadium. Very exciting stuff going on with the Titans. They got Carnell Tate flashy.
Yep.
Should help them. I think it's going to take another year or two before they're talked about legitimately. But, between the Colts, Jaguars, and Texans, Jaguars Trevor Lawrence gets it done and then he doesn't.
Yeah.
And they're without Travis and Etienne now.
Right.
And I don't know. They're not out of it. Liam Cohen brought some juice to that team. The same with the Colts. They got Sauce Gardner. They kept was it Pittman they kept? No. Pittman's on the Steelers now. They kept kid from Cincinnati.
Alex Pierce.
Yep. And they had a great relationship. As long as Daniel Jones stays healthy.
Yeah.
And that defense stays healthy, they should be in it. But something about CJ Stroud in those big moments typically figures it out. I really think it's more coaching than anything. D'Amico Ryans, dog. That defense, dominant. I would say they're probably pretty close to right, barring some crazy injury in that season.
Yeah, going to be very interesting
and
now.
Not to mention Colts last place. I could see it. I mean, again, it's an injury-driven league.
Right.
If a captain on your defense gets hurt, could happen. I would probably lean the Titans only because I think they still need a little bit more time.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I don't know. That's a hard one to pick because, again, you think Jaguars. Texans, to me, they've got it going on, but not without some kinks, too. So, I don't know.
And they have a dominant defensive line. It's just, I feel like the last couple of years, they should have done much better than they have.
Agreed.
And I don't think it's by any means like a window closing, but without Travis Etienne, a lot left to wonder.
Yep. Where do you want to go next?
Let's see here. Now, NFC South. Panthers winning it. Tampa Bay coming in last place. Panthers could win it again. They beat plenty of the odds last season. Falcons, I have no faith in, respectfully, given you have two lefty quarterbacks. Michael Penix didn't look great. Tua has not looked amazing.
No.
Mike McDaniel jumped ship. Tua jumped ship pretty quick. And, Bijan Robinson's a dog.
Yeah.
But the wide receivers can only get the ball as much as the quarterback can give it to them. I don't think Bijan can carry them through 18 games.
Yeah, I talking to a Falcons fan at LensCrafters.
Yes.
He is not very excited about the year. I said, what did you think about the departure of Kirk Cousins? He said, fine with it.
Yeah.
He goes, but I don't like Michael Penix either.
Yeah.
He kind of like, whatever.
Yeah. You get Kevin Stefanski. He kind of fixed the Browns, barring the Baker Mayfield departure. I don't know. Kevin Stefanski's going to have his work cut out for him in Atlanta, as far as I can tell. Tampa Bay coming in last seems a bit bold. That team's always put together, given they don't have Mike Evans, but at this point in his career, I don't think that's the end of the world. The wide receivers as a whole were hurt plenty of times last year, but they kept Cade Otton, I believe, and I think Tampa Bay will be fine. I mean, Saints have a lot to pick up on. They improved throughout the season, but they still lost games.
Yeah.
So I would say it's going to be more between the Saints and Falcons this season for last place.
Yeah, that would probably be my guess, too.
Yeah, how about AFC North? How do you feel about the Bengals projected winning?
I kind of agree with that. I mean, they're probably due to bounce back, and who knows what's going on with Pittsburgh. This has the Browns finishing last. Browns improved quite a bit, I think.
Yep.
I don't know.
When you think of the Ravens and who else? Steelers?
Yeah, I mean, Ravens, new coach, so how's that going to go over? But yeah, I could see it be a year where Cincinnati takes over the top spot.
I'm interested to see this. Jesse Minter is the old Chargers defensive coordinator that's now the Ravens head coach.
Wow.
And that mastermind fixed the Chargers defense from year one. I think it was 2, maybe 3 years with the Chargers. I might be wrong. I think Harbaugh's been now 3 seasons, so it was probably 2 years with the Chargers. But he fixed their defense immediately. And if I'm looking at the Ravens' defense, and they haven't performed great, but now having Jesse Minter there makes me a lot more confident the Ravens defensively will be more put together.
Yeah.
Barring whatever they do on offense. Hopefully that went with Harbaugh for the Ravens fans' sakes. But I'm excited to see this Ravens defense take on Joe Burrow twice this year.
Yeah.
Bengals have been an every other year team. They had their down year last year. Joe Burrow stays healthy. They're in every game.
That's kind of what I thought too.
They've made a lot of tremendous moves on defense this offseason to keep them more in games defensively. I don't think the Bengals pick here is crazy for that reason alone. The Steelers obviously have been not as how do you want to say it? Haven't done quite as well as I would have hoped with Mike Tomlin there for a little bit. Now obviously they have the Pittsburgh guy from Green Bay, old Green Bay coach.
McCarthy?
They have McCarthy
Mike
over
McCarthy,
there.
yeah.
Mike McCarthy over in Pittsburgh now, his hometown. I think that says something. I think the Steelers get maybe second or third in the division.
Yeah.
Ravens also second, I think, so probably Steelers third. Browns, maybe not Browns last. That might be aggressive. They did add a lot of pieces to their offense. That defense is proven good.
Is damn good.
I might give the Steelers an off year, put the Browns in 3. I think the Ravens pull it together again. Ravens kind of dipped down last year too.
Yeah. And again, the Ravens, just purely on talent, should be able to finish out of last place. I don't know.
That would be now that I'm thinking about it, that would be an excruciating last place this season, given 2 new head coaches, 3 new head coaches, because Zach Taylor's now the longest tenured in that division. Bengals improved their offense by having Burrow. They already picked up so many pieces to their defense. I'm probably going to go Ravens, Browns, Steelers for second, third, fourth.
All right.
Steelers obviously still don't know if Aaron Rodgers. I think they're supposed to get news this week about Aaron Rodgers. Maybe it comes with the schedule release and it's already happened. Who knows?
I don't think Pittsburgh. He wasn't in Pittsburgh. All that.
I think this will be a close division again for the nth year in a row.
I do too.
All these teams. I think the Browns picked it up. The Bengals will be better. The Ravens got better. The Steelers still about the same, but they're still a really good team. So I don't hate these predictions at all.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Now, a little bit more controversial, the AFC East prediction here.
Yeah.
Patriots coming in first, Dolphins coming in last. Last place pick, very safe.
Yes.
The Dolphins fans, you're not going to have fun this year.
It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough. You're going to get a couple surprise wins. It's going to be exciting for a week, but
Yeah.
I don't see this happiness lasting for months.
I mean, you don't even have what you had last year.
And that
essentially,
wasn't enough. Yeah.
And maybe it gels together in a way we can't see it. That teams happen like that every year.
Yep.
But on paper, anyway, at this moment, it looks like it's a stretch for them to get out of last place.
Yeah, and you know what? Hey, maybe the Jets will surprise us too. Hey, Dolphins, Jets fans, you might have 2 of the best battles of the year against one another for last place. Barring that, though, Bills, Patriots.
Yeah.
Battle for first.
You know, so we're saying Josh Allen is going to lose out to Drake May.
Yes.
You know, that's a big statement.
That is a big statement, given all the accusations of an easy schedule last season.
And it hasn't exactly been a quiet offseason for the Patriots.
No, it has not.
So they've got controversy around no matter what you think about it.
And supposedly, they addressed it. He addressed the team, and business is business. They have a job to do. They do pick up an offensive tackle in the draft, Caleb Lomu.
Yeah.
And, the Bills.
Utah.
Yeah, I wonder who else the Bills got. I've got our cheat sheet from a couple weeks ago. Bills didn't have a first-round pick.
Really? They traded out, I wonder. I don't remember that one.
They might have traded out, or they must not have had one. Because they would have been closer to the bottom, I believe. Yeah. Unless this is wrong, I'll double-check that. Yeah. But I can't remember exactly who the Bills took the rest of the remaining rounds. But, again, it's Josh Allen. It's James Cook. They've got people there.
Yeah.
Both the tight ends, they just need to fix that defense a little bit. I want to say they made some good moves. They got some wide receiver. And in the offseason, Matt said it last week. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. But they'll be fine. I don't know. I think, again, Patriots had so much success last season. They supposedly are getting A.J. Brown. Who knows if that's another helpful piece to this already Mike Vrabel and Rossini moment.
Yeah.
I would imagine that might be more distracting than helpful.
Yeah. I think it's going to happen.
I think it's going to happen too. Everything has been so confidently it's going to happen that I'm fine with just assuming it will after June 1st, July 1st.
That post-June 1st cut
Yep.
or whatever for the cap and all those impacts.
But I would put Bills as division winner there. I think Patriots slip on a game or two. They have a new stadium that'll be debuting week 2 against whoever that is.
A lot of distraction.
A lot of distraction on the Patriots.
It weighs.
Their defense will be amazing again. I think Josh Allen will be fighting everything, given that him and Lamar Jackson still have yet to make a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And Sam Darnold just won one.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody had that on their bingo card for that draft class.
Never.
And
Never, ever.
I think, Sam Darnold gets to laugh and, do his thing, which is basically say nothing and hang back.
It's amazing. It really is amazing.
It's hilarious. You look at that draft class, and it wasn't Lamar, it wasn't Josh Allen, it was motherfucking Sam Darnold from down under. Incredible.
So we go to the last one.
Yes.
The AFC West.
Oh, yes. They predicted. Actually, I'll let you.
Yeah, they predicted the Chargers to win and the Raiders to finish last.
This division has become so even, given the Broncos' success with Bo Nix, the Chiefs slowing up a little bit with Patrick Mahomes and kind of that offensive team that just stalled a little bit last year.
Yep.
And the Chargers doing what the Chargers do best, which is make the playoffs and lose the first game. I don't know what to think at this point. The Chargers got better on defense. They picked up Njoku. They lost Jesse Minter as a defensive coordinator, but they picked up someone familiar that was on the Chargers as a defensive back, cornerback coach from a few years ago, and then went to Eastern Michigan to coach.
Oh, okay.
Western Michigan, because they got a draft pick from there. That was the kid in the MAC with the most sacks last season.
Oh, shit.
I think they got him undrafted. I'm excited to see him. But very exciting news. Very excited for the Chargers. The Raiders, sure as shit, got way better.
Yeah.
Who knows if it comes all together in the first season? I would imagine you'll see immediate improvement because that last year's team was rough. 2 years ago, it was rough. And that being said, between those 4 teams, I think it's a crapshoot.
Yeah.
I think the Chiefs will come out with more of a passion. Like we've said, they've had 3 runs at it in a row.
Yeah.
It makes sense that the 4th year was a bit of a downer.
Kenneth Walker.
They have Kenneth Walker now.
That's a big add.
They had Pacheco and Hunt, and now you add Walker. I mean, that's their running game was ran through Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
Pacheco was hurt most of the season, not really himself. Who knows what that was, but it's a fact of the matter.
Chargers have a great team if they stay healthy, which has been a thing for them the last few years, right?
They were missing 2 linemen.
But if they can stay healthy, I mean, they've got the horses to do it. No doubt.
If you told me the Broncos, Chiefs, or Chargers won this division, I'd say that adds up to me.
Yeah.
The Raiders winning it, I think, means the Broncos had injuries, the Chargers had injuries, and the Chiefs had injuries.
Yeah.
I don't think it's out of the question. I think it's going to take a little willpower. They do have superstars on that team, but with a new coach, Seattle's offensive coordinator, I think it was.
Is that what?
I think it was him. It was one of the 2 coordinators, but regardless, that's a winning program that got good quickly.
Yep.
They've got a formula that works. Just injuries between those seasons. Bo Nix gets hurt at the end of the season, tragically.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert's banged to shit. We all know that. The offensive lineman banged to shit. We all know that. The Patrick Mahomes his ankle has been in the news more than it hasn't been for other players.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's on track to be back week 1, which is unbelievable. Good for him. He's a beast. That wasn't in question. But, now they have Eric Bieniemy coming back. That's a key piece of that team's winning history.
Yeah.
And he's back in town.
Yeah.
Gonna be a problem. Raiders got better. I don't think I'd be surprised how that division ends up.
Should be the best division in football, actually, I would say.
I think NFC West still has it.
Yeah?
I think so.
Rams and Seahawks?
Rams, Seahawks, and 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
I think the 49ers bounced back hard this year, but they were kind of the same way where injuries barred them, and there's only so much you can do when half your team's injured.
It's really true.
And, I don't know. I'm pumped for the game football to start, honestly. It's a bit rough for us right now. We're doing a lot of reacting to other people's content because it's like, fuck.
Not a lot else you could do.
Yeah, I don't think you guys care too much for us redrafting the 2014 draft at this point.
Maybe what we do. Well, obviously the next broadcast we have, or maybe next couple, we'll talk about the schedule.
Yeah,
that'll be some interesting stuff. We get something exciting this weekend. So it's Miami University's graduation.
Yep.
Betsy graduates, and Saturday John Harbaugh is the commencement speaker at on the football field.
Yes.
And so now that he's in the division for me,
Yeah.
and he's related to your
Yeah,
guy,
coach.
it's pretty interesting for us to be able to listen to what he has to say and see him in person. That's kind of neat.
It's going to be kind of funny. I don't remember Miami statistically having many kids from New York. I remember a bunch of Buffalo kids, not as many New York kids, but it would be hilarious how many Giants fans, if any, show up. Not show up, but have kids graduating in that class.
Yeah.
But should be fun
pretty
stuff.
Cool. Yeah, pretty cool.
Next episode will be all about schedule release. I'm sure the Chargers will knock it out of the water with their video. Seems like it's a whole thing now between social media teams.
Yeah. It with your luck, I wouldn't be surprised if we ran into John Harbaugh at the Elms.
That would be hilarious. That would be hilarious.
So
we'll have to see. But I think that does it for us this week. Keep it short and sweet and easy. Hope you all have a great rest of your week, safe week, and we will talk to you all next time on the Coy Pond.
Peace.